Live from the NTP studios, this is the K-12 Tech Talk podcast. My name is Josh. Actually, the weather is finally broke. It's beautiful outside right now. Here in beautiful Missouri. Gorgeous. Down the road from me in the beautiful fields is Chris. Hello, Chris.
What's up?
And noticeably absent tonight is the guy from the East Coast, that one we call Mark. We're stressed out with back to school, and Mark just goes on vacation.
Yeah, we didn't plan it, but I mean, everybody should know this, listeners. We do video together, but we don't post the video. But Josh, you didn't talk about what you're going to show up wearing. I didn't talk about it, but we're just wearing our white shirts right now.
Yep, we typically don't talk about our outfits, our daily.
Which means
ensembles.
Long Day took that polo off. Jumped on a call together.
Yeah, may have taken other things off. You'll never know.
Are you wearing pants?
I'm not going to answer that. I'm not wearing socks. I'll tell you that much. I wonder if Mark's wearing.
Your teachers came back this week. Yes.
Yeah, my teachers came back Tuesday. Today was convocation. Tonight is our last night of open houses. I'm not sure if they're here tomorrow. They might be here. They might not be here. I know my wife is off tomorrow. She has open house tonight. We'll get into this in a little bit, but man, it's that season. And you know what's funny? I logged into our podcast dashboard today. You can tell it's the start of the school year because our downloads are like the lowest I've ever seen them on a daily basis.
Yeah, you can see that on K12 Sysadmin subreddit.
Oh, yeah.
It goes down, K12 Tech Pro posts, and it's because we're in the thick of it.
Except Mark. He's on
vacationing.
Yeah. Man, we were going to do AI Mark and our best Mark impressions. You got a Mark impression?
Yeah, let me think about it. Hey, guys. That's kind of all I got. I'm trying to think of, does he have like a catchphrase?
Damn it, Milo.
Maybe that's about it.
Yeah, he's gonna
hold on a second. I'm gonna kill my dog. He says that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he talks about Fish the band, all the time.
Hi, I'm Mark. I like Fish, and we're not real sure. Yeah, we're not sure if he means the band or fishing because he said he's going fishing while he's on vacation this week. So
true.
Yeah,
he likes all fish.
Yes,
but anyways, Mark, you're missed. I mean, if we make fun of you, that means we like you.
Yeah.
We miss you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I'll do the news. Do you want to hit a news sponsor, Chris?
Yeah, I do. So we like Mark and we like Meter. Check out meter.com/K12 Tech Talk to book a demo. They do your network. If your organization is running several different vendors to do different pieces of your network, that's a lot for you to figure out. You could even maybe consider that a liability that you have to be a jack of all trades. Meter has changed how you can kind of think about that. They can integrate all of that together. They have predictable pricing, no surprise renewals. You can kind of think of them like subscription-based networking. So check out meter.com/K12 Tech Talk to book a demo.
So the news segment is brought to you by the letter M, Meter and Mark.
Love it.
So Chris and I were, pre-gaming here before we hit the record button, and I was on LinkedIn, as I am quite frequently, it appears. And this story, I'm seeing this story shared repeatedly, and it's from the Department of Ed. And this hell might have frozen over this afternoon, Chris, because I actually agree with something that the Department of Education has put out.
Well, I didn't know they were going to still put out stuff. So
yeah, I thought they were gone. Man, I love hitting that bit. So they put out guidance, a little, I don't know if you'd call it guidance, but a letter to districts and edtech companies this afternoon about screen time limits. And it's a couple page letter, but the big takeaways are here: guidance for states and districts. The letter encourages states and districts to distinguish between recreational and instructional technology. We've been saying that. Like I've used that phrase, time suck. YouTube is a time suck. That, to me, that's that recreational technology usage. However, YouTube can also be instructional technology usage as well. You
Yeah,
got your
I've
apps.
I've just been preaching around the district at our back to school meetings about our district is going to focus on quality over quantity of the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah. Our I've been having multiple conversations with our high school principal, and in back to school PLC and like grade level leader meetings, he's it reiterated we need to be very cognizant and take a very mindful approach to screen time this year, regardless of if we have a state law or federal guidance or law that tells us to. We know it needs to happen. So there needs to be an effort to try and trim back some of the downtime, some of the just, hey, just get on YouTube and watch a video real quick.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see that shake out this year, especially at our high school, our upper buildings. The second one is evaluate ed tech on outcomes and instructional value, not just screen time. And I think, yeah,
Yeah.
this goes along with Mark has said this more than one time that these screen time discussions shouldn't be about a number of minutes and hitting a hard number of minutes and then turning the device off. It should be what instructional value is this adding to the class day?
Yeah, I get really stuck. And again, I know we've talked about this. Like if the 25-minute thing, elementary kids, 25 minutes a day, if the 26th minute would have
Yeah.
been very impactful, and it's spot on educational, instructional technology, I have a really hard time thinking hard shutdown. Like, I have a really hard time if we're gonna like if a law is going to be super hardcore about 25 minutes and the teacher and the student brain has to figure out how to cram all that in. If the thing needs to be a little bit longer than that and it makes sense because it's fitting the quality check and the instructional check, it's all about that outcome.
Well, great example of this. Missouri passed that personal device ban a year ago. We had to implement it for last school year. I was in a lab, our PLTW lab today, and we're doing some dual credit classes through our local junior college. And the conversation was if the students have to log into that junior college's portal to use Canvas or whatever, they're going to have to MFA. Well, how do we accomplish student MFA on the college accounts if we have a personal device ban? And I had to remind the teacher, I'm like, look, the personal device ban also gave leverage to the district to have an out if we needed it. Where appropriate, they can use it. And to me, that's the first thing I would go to. In that environment, when they are sitting in that room for that dual credit course and they need to log into that junior college's Gmail instance or Canvas account, and they have to use MFA, I'm not buying $60 UB keys for 300 kids. Let
Yes.
them use their phone for MFA. Like, there has to be a little bit of wiggle room built into these laws that, to your point, Chris, lets you get to the 26th minute.
Yes. So, okay.
Next thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
Hey, I'm here. This one's a little out there, and I'm not sure how many districts do this. Incorporate evidence of effectiveness into procurement, especially products that have conducted randomized controlled trials. So if you're doing a dog and pony show for an ed tech suite, might be a reading application or something like that, or credit recovery. Ask for evidence of their effectiveness of the application. I mean, great idea, but to me, I don't know how many school districts actually do that or are thinking about that. Thoughts?
Agree. Yes.
Okay.
But I don't hate the idea of figuring out evidence.
Sure.
Again, this whole screen time thing, we've just talked a lot about, and I mean, for months now, even, if you're going to say 45 minutes or 25 minutes, you're going to say all this stuff, whatever, it needs to be backed with data, backed with evidence. If your district is all about using a particular program and you got students using it, there should be evidence that that program is actually doing something of great benefit, of great impact on the student, rather than like it makes us feel good.
Well, I come back to the story. I hadn't been at my district, probably 3 years. And we were having all the discussions were out going one-to-one. This was pre-COVID. And I was an advocate for, hey, 7th through 12th grade, which happened at the time be our middle school and high school, we should be seriously considering going one-to-one. Put a device in every
Mhm.
kid's hands and send them home with them. And the assistant superintendent at the time is now my superintendent. We have a great relationship. And we were having a back and forth in a meeting. It was just the two of us. And she said there isn't any evidence or research that shows putting a device in a kid's hands increases test scores. And you have to know me to know my delivery and to know that I will say things out of sarcasm, and there's a little bit of truth to it. And I quickly turned around and I said, "Well, show me the research that shows that smartboards increase
Sure.
student outcomes." Because we have one in every class, and we moved away from chalkboards to smartboards
Yep.
that our test scores go up, and I was asked to leave the room after that. Um,
Okay.
Next item: establish edtech implementation and outcome reviews. I, when you say this is a no-brainer. Are you reviewing those applications that you're spending tens of thousands, or depending on your size of district, hundreds of thousands of dollars to make sure that you're getting that ROI, that it's moving the needle the way that you expect it to move the needle?
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how many districts have the time or the manpower to go back and do that.
Yeah, I think schools do this naturally, but maybe not as often as they should.
Yeah.
You over time, you evaluate and whatever, but maybe this needs to be like, in every quarter or in every whatever, you're actually doing it. And again, that word established there, and I'm not reading the actual text, whatever, but to establish what you're going to do. How are we going to evaluate this?
How are you going to measure it? Yeah. To me, I don't like generalizations, but in the education world, it seems like we're always chasing a shiny object. Like it's always the new thing, the shiny thing that's doing this cool whiz bang stuff. It's hard to, if you're constantly jumping from shiny thing to shiny thing to shiny thing, it's hard to come back and measure those outcomes. And sometimes those shiny things end up dying on the vine and not getting used, and you're still paying for them.
Yep.
So yeah, great idea. Finally, support efforts to help educators integrate technology effectively into instruction. And I think that has to be, there has to be an ed tech focus or an ed tech role focus in every district, because if you're not offering that continued refresher course on how to use a tool like LineWise Classroom Monitor or Renaissance Learning or something like that, the effectiveness, teachers lose that effectiveness with that tool. And especially if you have new teachers, like we just hired 20 new teachers, that ongoing training or even first round of training for those new teachers, that's super important as well.
Yeah. I guess, well, it's just two Missouri boys tonight, so we can talk about Missouri in particular. Kind of reminds me, or it's making me remember my early days as a Missouri K-12 tech. Our state made us submit a technology plan for our district.
Yeah.
And it would get approved and renewed. And there were things in that were required for us to say how we were going to do it. And there was even stuff in there, you had to fill out a number on how, like they would give you a recommendation for how many teachers you had. They'd recommend like one ed tech person. And then back then it was like, depending upon your student population, and you had to put so many computers in the library.
Yeah.
There was something great about that. My district still does a district tech plan, and that's just because I'm old and I like having a district tech plan probably. But there is something great about a state. Yeah, there is something good about the federal level telling states, try to do these particular things without getting into the details, and then states deciding, hey, we're going to make the local schools do these things without craziness, and just reviewing it. Like there's some good trickle stuff, because I think a lot of that, I'm not all about all the rules and tape and like, time crept the funding and the whole bit, but yeah, give me some guidance that's usable guidance. Let that trickle down to the state and trickle down to me. I'm not against it.
Well, I think that speaks to, and I think I've said this before on here, those tech plans and strategic plans are what led to my role. I
Hmm.
was the first tech director at my district, period, end of sentence. First tech director, and I was hired in 2014. Think about that. How many years, like my district had gone, they had a student information system, they had a network, they had wireless, they had labs, but they didn't have a singular person leading the district technology guidance plan, whatever you want to call it, until 2014.
Yeah.
And that's because of some of those things the state was pushing out.
Yeah.
So the next few items, these are guidance for ed tech vendors. We won't get into this as deep. Design products that support high quality instruction and meaningful student engagement with teacher and parent input. Okay. Incorporate evidence of effectiveness through independent evaluation and RCTs. Those are those study groups. Minimize unnecessary screen exposure while maximizing instructional value and design. Support educators with implementation resources and professional learning. Continuously improve products using classroom evidence, parent feedback, and student academic outcomes. And they wrap it up, this letter or guidance with states and school districts should expect ed tech providers to publish
Mm.
independent, yeah, publish independent evaluations of student learning outcomes whenever feasible, share effective classroom practice lessons, and provide information about product capabilities, limitations, and performance. Um, Overall, I would not have expected this to come out of the Department of Ed at the federal level. Just because our running joke has been they're still around. I didn't think they existed
Question
anymore.
mark?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So super interesting. There was a little bit of screen time discussion in there, but there was no mention of hard limit. So yeah, super interesting to see this article come out from the feds.
Yeah, with some I don't know, common sense, real life application stuff in it.
Well, yeah, and not being super prescriptive, which I don't think is the federal Department of Ed's responsibility anyway. But yeah, super interesting. Okay, up next news story is the FCC has opened the comment period for the proposed changes to the E-rate program, and these changes are the big scary ones, the ones that we talked about. I don't know, it feels like months ago, but it was over the summer sometime. Has E-rate reached its goal? Have they completed their goal, mission accomplished type scenario? The FCC opened the comment period, and I think it's going to. Oh yeah, it's going to stay open through October 13th, and you can create or you can make a comment through the FCC's commenting portal. We'll
Easy
put
to
the
do, by the way.
we'll put those links in the show notes as well. So yeah, this is kind of where the rubber meets the road. I've been reading districts making comments. They've been sharing them on LinkedIn about referencing the dollar amount that their state has received in E-rate funding and what that really means. Like that means network switches and wireless and firewalls, and that stuff needs to be replaced every couple years. This idea of the internet's done, every school has it now, we can move on. Um, we need to tell the FCC, we need to explain to the FCC where the failure or where the flaw in that thinking is.
Yeah, and you could do a quick Google search, look for Shelby, the Save Our E-rate. Lots of resources out there, but you go to their Save Our E-rate section. It's easy to fire off these comments. It's easier to make your voice heard.
And if you want to do the extra work of figuring out what that means for your district, what dollar amount you've spent over the last 5 years with E-rate and what that's translated to, you've been able to replace wireless or you've got a new firewall. Those stories mean
Yep.
things. They're substantive. Yeah. So take the time. That this is our chance to show the FCC what this means and what a detriment it would be if it was cut.
I've had some conversations with teachers this week about E-rate, and I actually kind of pointed them to do some research on their own because this is not just a tech department in K-12 problem. And I was talking through, like, we just received new wireless access points. And if you were to tell me that So I'm an 80% discount school district that I have to pay for those access points at the full cost. We have to have that infrastructure. So the district's still going to buy those access points. So what does that mean?
Right.
The classroom, the projector, the smartboard, the computer, how long we keep those devices, everything that's not covered under E-rate, those are going to be harder conversations where we're trying to stretch the dollar, and we already stretched the dollar. So those are going to be harder conversations where we don't replace the projector at the same issues present that we try to suck out more life of it if E-rate were to tragically go away. So it's a big deal. And I think this is one of those times I don't think we're just like, saying that the sky is falling and it's not. I think there's some cracks in the sky with how this shakes out. And even if E-rate changes, we just need to make our voices be heard so that the FCC knows that we care.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like you get on there, not many people do comments on a lot of this stuff. So make your voice be heard with a comment. And there's like a formal text a hot minute way to do a comment. But they also have the comment section that it's pretty quick to post one. So check out those resources to post. You can post that as an individual. You could get approval to post that as your school district if you go through that process with your school district. But you can make your voice be heard.
Yeah, and where are you going to be, or you want to help save it? You don't want to be 6 months down from the road from now, and we're like, dang, what more could we have done? Oh,
Yep.
well, I didn't make a comment.
Yep.
Yeah, this is super important. Well, Chris, that's all the news I have.
I love it. So I want to talk to you about ChromebookParts.com, and then I want to talk to you about how great your back to school days have been going, Josh. ChromebookParts.com, they have over 10 million of in-stock parts, so they can help you with your inventory to get ready for the new school year. They also do refurbished devices for like $100 or less. So any last-minute refreshes, or maybe you need to just get a couple Chromebooks going for some new people that came along that you didn't know about, they can help you with that. They can also help you with your repairs if you're behind on that. They can do less than a 2-week turnaround for Lenovo HP models, as an example. So contact customer support at chromebookparts.com. They have a code too. It's welcome to Chrome Employment, welcome to Chrome Improvement, and that'll get you an extra 10% off of your next order. Chromebookparts.com. Yeah, Josh, so let's talk about back to school. Let's banter about it. So we love back to school. We've been doing this for a little while. We know what back to school time is going to feel like. We know. So in Missouri, it's August when early August when teachers, those overachieving teachers, start to trickle back in a little bit early to get back into their rooms as soon as the custodial waxing is done. And then the week-ish before the actual back to school in-services, you see a lot more. And then we're in the thick of it now. So we're having these back to school meetings. All the teachers are back. All faculty staff are back. Open houses taking place. So students are getting back into their accounts, maybe grabbing devices for the first time. K-12 Techs, we love it. You can see a couple posts on K-12 sysadmin. It's always the Gladiator movie that it was just the couple guys against the world. I can't think of what that movie is. I'll have to look that up. It's always those same posts. It's Techs against the world. We're just trying to get school ready for everybody. So, Josh, how's it been going your neck of the woods?
It's that same. We jokingly call it Hell Week because you can feel it coming. Like you said, Chris, those teachers start trickling back in before they're officially supposed to be back. You can kind of feel it. The tickets start flowing a little bit better. You're like, okay, we're getting back into the groove here. And then that first contracted day, I did the math. I ran a report this afternoon. Since Monday, we've had 168 tickets closed. That's just, it's like that every year. And it just, all I can say is only 2 more for me. Like only 2 more back to schools and I'm done.
You're counting the back to schools. Hey, the movie's 300 is what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. So, you always get those crazy tickets to, like, my favorite ticket today was from a teacher. Her building had open house last night. Hey, how do I clean my smartboard? Because there was a sibling of a student in here last night for open house, and they put a sucker on the smartboard, and now it's sticky.
I love it.
And that's a brand new smart panel MX75. Like, oh, that's like a $3,000 board. Okay, we'll come over and see what we can do. Yeah.
We had talking about sibling, let's see, I shouldn't say we had. I heard of someone having we or they, however you want to hear that, hear this story. Got new door access controls, and we have new fobs, and everybody's excited about the fobs. The teachers are, and a teacher that may or may not be just a couple days into their job here, let their little brother play with it or little sibling play with it, and like broke it, like, and we were like, I mean, how does that happen even? Fobs, like they're like pretty thick plastic. And why we literally just did like a spiel about, how important these things are. And that was, with that person for less than 24 hours and it's gone. Like it's broken. It's ruined. What else have you had going on? So sucker on smartboard.
Yeah. So, it's, I don't know how to explain this next one. My wife stuck up for IT directors across the country.
Hey, love
this
it.
week. So, I get in the evenings this week. It's been a lot. I've had multiple calls from districts almost every night this week talking about this new phishing campaign that's going around. I don't want to get into a whole lot of details with it in case threat actors are listening, but there's a very prevalent phishing campaign going on, and it's compromising accounts left and right. Almost every night this week, I've talked to districts that have had it, asking for advice. Hey, am I checking all the right things? Am I looking at these reports right? And finally, my wife the other night, she's like, people don't understand what you guys are dealing with on a daily basis, let alone this type of threat and this particular threat. So she had back to school meetings this week, and during, like, I don't think it was an all building, I think it was people outside of her building, she stood up and made a comment and told people in her district, like, you guys need to pay attention to what you're clicking on and don't just approve MFA every time you're prompted for it. Like, went on a rant. Like, rock on. So those people that are listening,
have you bought her flowers this week?
No, but there were flowers in the trash. So I'm assuming we had flowers on our counter and I just didn't realize it. I'm not super observant about stuff like that, just because there's been a lot of crap going on. But if you're dealing with compromised accounts and the fish that's going around, know that my wife has been paying attention and she stuck up for you. So
she's got our backs.
She does. Man, something that we always deal with back to school is teacher moves, and it's part of the thing. But when phones grow legs and PCs grow legs and just disappear, end up in rooms across the district. I had a text message today from somebody with they said, "Hey, what's wrong with this phone?" And they sent me a picture. And the phone was searching for the PBX, the voice server. And I said, well, that phone belongs in another building and it should go back to where it came from. Yeah. Like, how in the hell did that end up in your building? That's from a building across campus.
Yeah. I think it was last year we had like a missing printer.
Yeah.
So we ended up having to do like this, like, building wide bit, look for printers in your rooms. And then somebody was like, found it, and it was another printer that we didn't know was missing.
Oh, jeez.
But phones are bad about that. We always lose video splitters, and I always feel like that's someone taking that to move it to their room. Like that's teachers taking from teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers taking from teachers.com.
Thankfully.
You steal stuff and put it online.
Teachers pay teachers. Screw you guys. Like, I hate teachers pay teachers. They want full drive access. Tech directors, if you didn't know, you should go turn off that interface. We've gotten away from the splitters the last probably 3
Yeah.
years. We've only got a handful left in our district, thankfully.
Yeah.
And they're older than dirt too. What have
We
you been
we
dealing with?
we had this week. So Monday was our first. Everybody's back. So now we are at Thursday as we're recording this. And I'm finding out, even though there's like a process in place with new employees that I'm supposed to be like in tune with, there's a person that changed positions and is needing new stuff, and found out today as opposed to Monday or Tuesday or like the 2 weeks ago or something.
Sure.
So we're ordering. I had to order like 2 more laptops today because these people are in existence that I had no idea about, and they change positions, kind of thing. So last minute changes. I love custodians. I love our custodians, but we do have just so many tickets, and it's again like you said, it's the bit. But some are cleaning, some are waxing,
Yeah.
and the way that rooms get broken down and put out into the hall, sometimes choices were made on how those things were taken out that
Yep.
I will just not understand. And how, again, like you're saying, how we had cables, like how one cable moves from one room to another. Well, it's because it was just all out in the hall together.
Right.
But I was in a room. A teacher he was like, I had this cable, I don't know where it goes. And I found like another cable, similar to the printer thing. Like, hey, you were just talking about one, now there's 2. But we do a thing where we have like a little box, and all the crap is supposed to go into the box, and it plugs in easy to the wall. And we spent time and money on like these nice, I think the brand is Kramer. It's this nice wall plate that's customizable, so that it's literally, and we do training with our custodians even on it. You're going to unplug just from the wall. That's going to sit, next near that box that we have. You have to put the box up on the teacher desk. You don't have to touch anything else. Wheel that bad boy out. And we've had several tickets where that box is completely empty. And like the back of the monitor, those cables are all unplugged. Cables that I would never unplug in my life.
Yeah.
They're undone. And again, that's the bit. We are used to that. We've been through this. We're seeing it doesn't matter how many tickets we close, we end the day with a few more open than what we started the day with right now.
The next 2 weeks, don't even look at your open ticket count. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, someone was like, is this your worst week or is next week when the kids come back? And I was like, honestly, it's like a 3-week period.
Yeah.
That's just a lot. And then it usually chills out. But it's like a 3-week chunk that I don't know that I don't like one week more than another week. They're just all pretty equal.
It's workflow.
Yes.
And I mean, everybody comes back. It's logic that your ticket count's going to go up, and it's just chaos when they all come back, and they've only got 5 days to get everything ready for the start of school. Like, of course, it's going to be chaos.
Yes, and I'm with them. Like, they come back, they're eager to. A lot of them are eager to come back.
Sure,
and then they get stuck in meetings. So as soon as they get out of the meeting, they're setting up their room. So that's why you see spikes. Yeah. Like, you can literally tell when there's a faculty meeting going on because the tickets out of that building go down, kind of thing.
Yeah, today at lunch, you could tell the meeting got over because we had like 12 tickets in 5 minutes. Like, it was craziness. But it's funny you say that about custodians, Chris, because this afternoon I'm in my office and I had to re-extension an entire building this afternoon, and it just made me really mad. So I'm like heads down trying to get this configured in the phone switch and get it working right. And I have to pay attention to it. And I hear the door to our office open. And you've been to my office. We're in the basement of our elementary building. You cannot get to our office from inside the elementary. You have to go outside to get to our office. And I hear the door open, and it's not a voice I recognize. And they said, well, they said to bring this box down to IT, and I hear it's on a cart. Like, I can hear the squeaky wheel coming down the hall. Mm-hmm. And they come into my office because my guys are out running around like chickens with their head cut off. And the guy goes, hey, man, I'm sorry, but the office told me to bring this box down here and drop it. And I look over, and it's like a big box, like an Amazon big box full of cables and video splitters, keyboards. Okay, just throw it on the floor. We'll deal with that later. Like that's okay, fine, not a big deal.
I had
Just
a
drop
teacher
it.
this week that was like, she was, she was, well, she showed me a picture and it was like, the box of random stuff, and a keyboard. And then she was like telling me almost with pride that like she doesn't use any of the tech in her room and we can just come and get it.
Oh
And
yeah,
and
sure.
I was
Yeah.
like, no, I was like, we'll take the extra keyboard,
Yeah,
but
but
we
we're
won't take
leaving
all
your
that extra
projector.
stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Because the person behind you is going to have to clean up that mess if you have everything removed.
I love
Yeah.
it. So if you're listening, we see you, we hear you, we feel you, we are you, and it's going to get better, right? It does get
It's
better.
it's so funny that we're dealing with this. Like, send us an email. Tell us your craziest ticket you've had this week. That if you've got teachers coming back, the funniest ticket that you've had. Because we're all seeing it. We're
I
all
love it.
seeing it.
I love it. All right, Josh, I did this interview with Frank Murray of Belton ISD talking about CyberNut. So we're going to jump into that interview. But before I get into that, thanks to our sponsors. We do have sponsors on our episodes that we believe in. So thanks to them. NTP, email David Wren over at NTP for all your cybersecurity needs. Fortinet podcast at Fortinet.com for all your Forti needs. And then Lightspeed. You can get into Lightspeed's, what's that product? Insights, right?
Insight, yeah.
They can help you figure out what you're doing in your district, what kind of use you have. You can do some great reports with that. They have their Signal product as well, that can help you track your devices and your wireless strength, all that kind of stuff as well. And not to mention their content filter. So thanks to our sponsors. But here is an interview. We're unpacking CyberNut. It does cool, great phishing stuff. In particular for K-12, this is Frank Murray with a school district that uses CyberNut. Thanks for listening. Okay, I am hanging out with Frank Murray from Belton ISD. Frank, did I get that right?
Absolutely right.
And I jumped on
Central
this
Texas.
thing. Yes, we were looking at each other and we felt like we've met before. And I've interviewed you before on the K-12 Tech Talk podcast, where we mostly talked about barbecue, I think.
That is correct. And Meat Church seasoning. Yeah, sponsored by Meat Church. Not really, but wish we were.
I'll probably dig up that episode. We'll give that as like a teaser that we've talked before, that we spent time together before, and I'll probably put that as a link in the podcast description too. But today, we are going to talk about CyberNut for a few minutes. You and I both use CyberNut in our school districts. So I guess before we even dig into that, though, tell me a little bit about yourself and about your school district.
Yeah, so Frank Murray, Belton ISD, like you said, we're in Central Texas, about an hour north of Austin. We do Level Barbecue, you know that. We have about 13,800 students in the district, 3 high schools, 4 middle schools, 12 elementaries. Yeah, it's Chief Technology Officer here. And of course, we've been a CyberNut customer for multiple years. And teachers just came back 2 weeks ago, students back last Thursday. So we're rocking and rolling here in Belton ISD right now.
Yes, we were talking before I hit the record button. My teachers came back this week, teachers next week. So both of us in the thick of it. And you were messing with like a video board or something this morning.
Yeah, 14-year-old Jumbotron that we're kind of trying to revive week to week. So
love it. It's a good, terrible season.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about CyberNut. So for those that don't know, well, I guess I'll let you do that. Give me the high level, what is CyberNut?
Wow, CyberNut is cybersecurity, phishing campaign, active threat detection, just a great partner for our school district. It's like a warm blanket that they just wrap around us with all the new tools they have coming out. Just cybersecurity training, phishing campaigns, active threat detection. Beautiful partner, just built for K-12 only.
And I know CyberNut. There's no before. There's all kinds of different ones out there. What made your school district? What made you take a look at CyberNut?
So I met Oliver and Mitch. I think it was at COSIN one year when they were just releasing the product. We know that cybersecurity training is pretty much a bore for our staff. We do the check mark at the beginning of the year to do the compliance training. We
Yep.
send out phishing campaigns, weekly emails. When we catch them, they would have to go through a 30-minute training and get to do that. And it was just a bore when we talked about cybersecurity in the district. Just our end users weren't happy. The biggest thing is I don't know if I should mention our partner from before by name, but we had a 20% click rate on our phishing campaign. So super high. So we knew it wasn't working. So we did a demo easily set up in like an hour to set it up for our district the last month of school 3 years ago, I guess. And it just showed our click rate through the roof. It actually just qualified the data that, we have a problem here.
Yeah.
So, but what we found out from that month pilot was really the gamified solution that CyberNut had built that our teachers were actually excited about, like, what is this? And I like this. I'm on the top of the leaderboard, right? So by gamifying this cybersecurity training has really made our staff excited about it.
Yeah.
So at that point, the proof was in the pudding, and we're like, all right, that's what we're doing next year. We're not renewing with our other partner. That's a big partner out there that a lot of people use, and put CyberNut in full effect in Belton ISD.
So let's talk about that. So CyberNut, it adds something into Gmail or whatever your email is, adds that little squirrel off to the side, and then phishing campaign happens. They can report, a suspicious email, a spam email, and then it gets reviewed, and they score some acorns, right?
They get acorns. So that's the biggest thing is our staff love getting acorns. They really do. They get excited.
Yep.
Our departments, our schools compete. But I think, the biggest thing is, and it's CyberNut is the first vendor we worked with that were willing to granulize their software for us, like really giving us granular controls. So like our compliance training's not just an out of the box compliance training. We worked with them like, this is not the power of CyberNut. The compliance training is not. We need the teachers to know and our staff to know what they need to know out of the compliance training, but the power comes in the weekly phishing campaigns. So we really got our training at the first. It wasn't an hour video they're sitting through now. It might take them 10 to 12 minutes to complete the compliance training. The power in CyberNut is a quick onboarding to show them how to use the Acorn, how to mark these as phishing emails. And that's just a quick onboarding process.
Yep.
So, but like I said, we had full control of our compliance training and what we wanted to give to our teachers. And I think that's the neat part of it. They're trying to make this product better for what schools are asking. So
yeah, I know the onboarding for us. I mean, we picked who we wanted to receive that. It would automate out an email to them. Took a couple of minutes, and they were using it. And I guess, would you talk about how the emails are different? The campaigns, how they look different compared to the other products out there.
That's the thing about it is CyberNut really ties all their phishing campaigns or their email and their templates to products that school districts use. We even talked about our business office. Our business office is the #1 department in our district on the leaderboard. They really are, because they're really tying these to exactly all the platforms that school districts are using, and really how to spot these phishing. I mean, I know we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but you get acorns now for actually reporting a true phishing email, which is powerful. And that's why our business department, because they get most of the phishing emails that are real. So reporting that. So just really amazing of how those come in and how they almost trick us in our technology department. So it's not about tricking, but it's really about what I really need to be looking at in an email to see if this is phishing or if this.
Yeah, and I guess let's just dig into that. So can you share any examples or any moments where you're like, okay, this is actually working. This is helping us. That has CyberNut prevented the bad thing?
I think really at first it was people were calling us to say, hey, is this email real or not? And that never happened in the past, right? Like they were actually calling in why and say, I shouldn't click on this. I hadn't done anything with it, but I want to know, like, is this a phishing email? We never had that with any of our phishing campaigns before. So it really just with the onboarding of what we did, the quick onboarding tutorial, the quick onboarding for our checkbox for compliance actually got them thinking about it, because it is not the normal boring stuff. It's exciting.
Yeah. I guess let's take a half a step back too with that the compliance stuff. How does that work? Do they watch a video? Do they get an email? What is that for your district?
Yeah, so we send them an email that has videos that are over PowerPoints, but they're actually interactive a little bit with the quiz with it. I would say the first time we got the compliance training it was a little bit harder to get through the compliance training. And that's when we reached back out to CyberNut and say, hey, can we change this and change this and change this? They're like, absolutely. So I think that's the cool thing, that they're willing to listen to your needs and change it on the spot. And within the next day, we had our videos for compliance training. So videos with quizzes to check for understanding. Exactly what we want in the classroom. If we're showing students a video, we need to check for understanding somehow. So what tool are we using for that? So it's trying to, train our teachers how we want them to train our teacher students.
We also use it for our tech user agreement. So it sends out an email, and super easy. It just says click here to acknowledge it. You can click to view it, and you can click to acknowledge it. Literally all they have to do to electronically sign it is click the acknowledge button, and then it gives us a good report. The system we left, you had to sign in and click into several things to get to the user agreement to acknowledge it. You only signed into that once a year. So we were always resetting passwords to this particular program we were using. So when we did CyberNut, just even the user agreement acknowledgement that our district was doing. And again, that was one of those things I think we're touching on a key thing together. I asked for that. I talked to them about that, and they made sure that it was going to work within CyberNut to get that thing taken care of. So it's a company that listens and will actually develop after the listen takes place, kind of thing too.
Right. And also with their onboarding of bringing this in and getting it installed, it's a quick process. It's not a heavy lift for your technology team like most things are. And that's what we looked at as well. How long will it take us to onboard? We did extremely fast onboarding, and it wasn't a strain on our staff to get them on board.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what that was. Adding it in Google Admin, making a project to tie API stuff with it, I think. And they would even do that for you if you wanted them to.
Right.
Very. Yes, that was fast. Yep.
Yeah, because we know anytime we bring in a new product is how do we get this out to our staff, and how hard is it to get this onboarded in our systems? And we take that in consideration. And the thing about it is with CyberNut, it was very simple. I think they said we need 2 weeks, but we can do it faster. And I think it was 2 days we were stood up ready to go.
Awesome.
So,
Frank, do you do anything with your students with CyberNut today?
So we're moving that. They do provide training for students now with very cool videos. And I feel like as a district, we don't do a very good job at teaching our students to use email. We're looking for all our messaging platforms. So we actually did cover our seniors, and we're putting that in play this year with the student side of CyberNut. To train a little bit more. We actually just opened up the walled garden in our district for our high school students where they can email out. We were relying on whitelisting all these colleges and applications. Yeah. We finally got that proved, and we got that pushed through that we're just going to open it up because we have things in place to monitor. But yes, it's very important to teach students about their digital footprint, about using email and how to use it the correct way with validity. So we are putting that into play this year with our seniors.
That's cool. Yeah, I know they do a separate pricing bit for their student portion as well.
But again, like I said, you can buy just for one. You don't have to buy for all students at that school. You can buy just by grade level. They're very work with you exactly what you need to make it granular.
I guess maybe last question: what would you tell a K-12 tech director if they're going to consider CyberNut, if they should stick with somebody else? What would you tell them?
I would say that if you want to put a platform in place that actually makes your staff excited about cybersecurity in your district, CyberNut is the way to go. When I'm getting text messages and Google chat messages of pictures of leaderboards because they don't feel like I saw it looking at the leaderboard, they want to make sure I know they're at the top of the leaderboard. That's exciting. We're putting something in play this year too, is we're doing the monthly whichever department wins, we printed a 3D model of a squirrel on for a little trophy, and they're going to get that for like the month of August, the month of September, because they want to show that. We thought about doing a banner. We're like, no, let's just print a trophy. This is going to excite them. But if you want your staff excited about cybersecurity, this is a product to go with. We didn't deep dive into threat protection on our side, but their new threat protection has really saved my staff time by setting those thresholds and pulling out of inboxes. We don't have to touch inboxes. It's already pulled them out, which is a powerful thing as well, and using that AI that they're using their platform to try to detect these. But my staff likes it. We don't live in cyber. You want a product that's just going to run where you don't have to live inside the product. We don't live inside the product. We set it up, we start running, and then it's taking care of itself. So it's a standalone, runs by itself, and get your staff excited.
I love it. Well, Frank, thanks for hanging out with me again. What's that barbecue sauce that you recommend? That seasoning?
Meat Church. It's a rub. Any of the Meat Church rubs are amazing. I use a lot of Blanco on steaks. I use Holy Gospel on brisket. I mean, I have the gamut. I use a lot of it. My pantry's full of it. I've actually started buying it by 5 pounds and just refilling my containers.
I love it.
I use it so much. So, and if you're a Cowboys fan, go Texas. Here we go, Cowboys. They have a new Cowboys without called Hail Mary. So,
all right. So check out CyberNut. Check out Meat Church. Love it. Thanks a lot, Frank.
You bet. Thank you.
We might not be the same. You share the same pain that I do. We pray for sun, but we love the rain. Darkness is falling with the light shining through. I seek for hope and you suffer change. I learned to speak of my point of view. We were buying words about the phrase of the way, and selling songs just to stay in the queue. So in the morning time, don't hesitate, unwind, reflect, creative.